Hello and welcome to this brief video introducing a new publication entitled Human Rights in Eastern Civilizations, published by Edward Elgar. I am the author of this book. My name is Surya Subedi. I am Professor of International Law at the University of Leeds and a barrister at the Three Stone Chambers in Lincoln's Inn, London. I also have served for 6 years as the United Nations Special Rapporteur for Human Rights in Cambodia. There is an ever-growing interest in the values of the East, not only in other parts of the world, but also within the East itself. In the East, curiosity and regard for its own religious heritage, philosophical history, and values are increasing, while Eastern concepts such as nonviolence, yoga, vegetarianism, nirvana, karma, meditation, and mindfulness have become global phenomena. The values of Western civilizations and their contribution to the development of human rights, the rule of law and democracy, have been asserted in a wide range of literature. In contrast, few studies have been conducted on the values of Eastern civilizations and their contribution to the development of human rights in the wider sense of the term. Western scholars are not usually familiar with the vast body of scholarship in Eastern civilizations, nor do they go far back in history to understand and appreciate the contribution of Eastern civilizations. This intellectual gap renders the work of such scholars limited in scope. It is in this context that this new book examines the values of Eastern civilizations and their contribution to the development of the United Nations human rights agenda. It demonstrates how cross-fertilization of values between the Eastern and Western civilizations has taken place and how the notion of the universality of human rights has been enriched by the values of different civilizations. This is an inquiry into the extent to which the leading scriptures of the main Eastern civilizations had human rights values embedded in them by the standards of the day, rejecting the argument based on the so-called Asian values that is often used to undermine the universality of human rights. The book argues that secularism, personal liberty, tolerance, and universalism are at the heart of the main scriptures of Eastern civilizations. When discussing human rights, this study is not only referring to human rights in the modern sense of the term, that is, the human rights developed mainly after the establishment of the United Nations and within the framework of Western political thought. Rather, this study is considering human rights in a wider sense and in a much earlier historical context. This book demonstrates that although the perceived wisdom is that Western values ultimately found their expression in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in 1948, many of these Western values themselves have their roots in Eastern civilizations. Therefore, the whole United Nations Human Rights Project has been enriched by the contribution of all major civilizations to make human rights principles truly universal. I hope this book is of some interest to you, and I thank you for watching this video. If you have any feedback for me, please write to me by email. My email is available on the website of the School of Law of the University of Leeds.